Heltie. Heltie, heel. Heel. Heel, sit.
Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to Wallace Annenberg PetSpace. I want to thank you for coming today. We've got a very special guest happening. First, a little housekeeping. If anybody does need to step out during the presentation, restrooms are down this hallway and behind the WAG Center. My name is David Bard. I'm the Education Program Coordinator here at Wallace Annenberg PetSpace, and it is my pleasure to introduce Melissa Billingsley. She's a graduate and puppy raiser with Canine Companions for Independence and a registered veterinary technician for Billingsley Veterinary Clinic. She's here with her hearing dog Heltie and Lotus, sorry. She's going to share some knowledge with us about CCI, about raising dogs and her career. She's also here with her son and her colleague Roxanne. I'd like to welcome you both, and we're glad that you could join us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for having me and Heltie. I figured I'd just go a little bit, tell you about what Canine Companions is, how I got involved with Canine Companions, and then a little bit about what service dogs are. I am a registered vet technician and practice manager for my mom's veterinary clinic in Tehachapi, California. And we had a client come in with his service dog named Carter back in, I think it was 2008, I believe, that Lee came in with Carter and we worked on Carter. And then Carter ended up having cancer and retired, but we took care of him for all those years. And when Lee was going to team training to get his successor service dog, he asked if we would like to babysit Carter and keep an eye on him for 2 weeks. So we had Carter with us for 2 weeks, so we got to spend time having a service dog with us at the vet clinic. And I got to see firsthand what Carter did with Lee and hear all about how he helped him. About 6 months later, after Lee graduated with Zendo, his third service dog from Canine Companions, Lee passed away. Me and my children attended his funeral service, and there was a lot of Canine Companions for Independence puppy raisers there talking about the puppies, and he worked for Edwards Air Force Base. They spoke about how the dogs helped Lee in his career. So me and my kids left the memorial service that evening and decided that we wanted to be able to give back to people in the community by raising a puppy for Canine Companions for Independence. So we went home and filled out the application to raise a puppy for Canine Companions for Independence, and that was in September of 2010. We got approved to be a puppy raiser in December of that year, and we got our first puppy in January of 2011. The first puppy that we raised was Blade, and I will go a little bit more about that as I go through about what Canine Companions is. I just wanted to give you a little history of how we got involved with Canine Companions for Independence. So Canine Companions for Independence was established in 1975. They are the oldest service dog organization around, and they're a nonprofit. They provide dogs for people with disabilities. And the big thing about Canine Companion is they offer these dogs free of charge, and they do ongoing support. So when we get a dog as a graduate, which I will get into what Heltie does for me, I am able to contact Canine Companions if I have any questions in regards to her training or if I have any concerns whatsoever, and they are there to support me 100% for the lifetime of the dog. So that's a really big help with somebody that has a disability, that know we have that support that we can call whenever. The assistance dogs are bred and raised from Canine Companions. See. Even though they are just service dogs, they are a part of us. So some people think that we're just little robots for us and that they just only work for us. However, she is the other side of my heart. Everything that we do, I mean, goes back to them. So even though they assist us and they open, Heltie's a hearing dog, so she alerts me to different sounds. Our service dogs retrieve items, they open doors, they close drawers. For our wounded warriors that are amputees, they can go and retrieve their leg, their arm. People in wheelchairs, they can help pull them. But other than that, they're there for us. They comfort us, they help us give our independence, our confidence to go out into the world, and we're not being judged by just our disability. So I have a little video here that just shows the process, what it goes from a puppy, from a service dog puppy, but also the graduate side. So you kind of see it's kind of a two-way street of a 2-year process that goes into Canine Companions dogs. Let me see if I can get this to work.
Canine Companions for Independence is a nonprofit that provides highly trained assistance dogs free of charge to people with disabilities. At their national headquarters in Santa Rosa, California, the work starts before puppies are even born. They work hard to meticulously select and pair dogs for breeding. Litters are then raised in homes with volunteers. At the same time, a request for an application is submitted online. As the applicant's paperwork is being filled out and sent, the quickly growing 8-week-old pups are placed with volunteer puppy raisers where they will be cared for and learn basic socialization and obedience skills. Before applicants are accepted to receive a dog, they go through a multi-step interview process, including a phone interview, medical paperwork, and an in-person interview. Accepted applicants are put on a wait list until they are invited to a team training class to be matched with an assistance dog. When the dogs are fully grown, they leave their puppy raisers and return to Canine Companions to work with skilled professional trainers to learn advanced commands and tasks. Then comes the day when the person and dog meet for the first time. Here at Team Training, the newly matched team learn to work together and training continues until they graduate as new partners. Canine Companions will continue to follow up with the pair for the lifetime of the placement, serving as a support system for the team. Canine Companions for Independence has been providing assistance dogs to people with disabilities free of charge since 1975.
Okay, so a little bit of the video of how the puppies go through training and a graduate goes through the process of getting a service dog for them. Canine Companions has 6 training centers throughout the United States. Like I said, they're one of the largest service dog organizations in the United States. In California, we are lucky. We have our national headquarters in Santa Rosa, and we have our Southwest division in Oceanside, which is what I'm a member of the Southwest organization. We have Ohio, New York, Florida, and we have our new campus that opened up last year in Texas that's was funded by Baylor Scott and White Medical Center. Canine Companions offers service dogs to people with 60 different disabilities. And then I also wanted to just kind of put out there that not all disabilities are visual. So if you do see a working service dog, and you may not think that that person has a disability, not all disabilities are visual. I can't hear really well, and I have 2 hearing aids, and most people, when they meet me, don't have a clue that I can't hear very well. I read lips really well, and I'm always trying to stay focused on your face. So if you're behind me, speaking to me, or out in public, I may not hear you. So in the past, I've had a lot of people say, wow, she's pretty rude, stuck up. She's just ignoring us out. That's not the case. I probably didn't hear you. I'll get into a little bit now that I have Hiltie and her vest as hearing dogs and how that has changed my life, and so it's a little bit different. So canine companions, they breed purebred Labradors, Lab Golden Retrievers, and purebred Golden Retrievers. All of the dogs are bred up within 90 miles of Santa Rosa, and they're raised by a volunteer breeder caretaker who takes that breeding dog into their house and then houses the puppies for 8 weeks. During that 8 weeks, the puppies are acclimated to different videos and sounds, and just even from the first week on, these puppies are getting groomed and getting cradled and all the stuff that takes to mold these dogs into being service dogs. Yellow vest indicates a puppy in training. I'll actually grab Lotus here. Lotus, come. Lotus, here. Lotus, sit. Yes. So this is Lotus, and Lotus is a 1-year-old puppy in training. So if you can see, Lotus has a yellow jacket on, which says volunteer puppy raiser, and Hiltie, who's asleep here, Lotus, sit. Lotus has a blue jacket, or Hiltie has a blue jacket, and the blue jackets are our working graduate dogs. Lotus, down. Lotus, down. Down. Yes. So, as a puppy raiser, these puppies, after they leave the breeder caretaker's house for the 8 weeks, they're all taken back to our Santa Rosa campus. All the puppies are microchipped, tattooed, vaccinated, and then they are shipped off to puppy raisers throughout the United States. So puppy raisers, excuse me, are volunteers, so it can be anybody. Anywhere over the United States could volunteer to take this puppy. So each puppy is raised in a different lifestyle, but then they're all returned back to the main campus. So as puppy raisers, we are to teach them 30 basic commands and pretty much socialize them, take them out to events like this, where there's lots of people, just so they learn how to behave, go to the grocery stores, restaurants. They just need to learn how to behave out in general in public. Matthew, you want to take Lotus back?
Lotus, here. Lotus.
Come. So the puppies are with us for 18 months, and then after we're done with them for around 18 months, we give them back to our regional center, and they have a professional training where we have professional trainers that teach them to be service dogs and teach them more advanced commands. In advanced training, canine companions, 4 times a year, we have our dogs matriculate back to the regional centers. The first month and a half, we go over all the medical evaluations. They do x-rays, EKGs, temperament testing, go over the basic 30 commands that the puppy should have known in the puppy raising. So for the first month, that's where a lot of them are just based off of that before they start learning more of the advanced professional commands. 60 to 70% of the dogs that are turned in do not make it as service dogs. It could be for any reasons. It could be for medical reasons. It could be for separation anxiety. It could be that the dog does not want to work, too lazy, too excited. I mean, there is a variety of reasons. These dogs are not forced to work. The ones that go on to graduate and be working dogs, they really like their job. They want to work. If there's any indication that these dogs are not happy doing the job, they're pulled back out. They're not pushed into the program to be made service dogs. So the dogs, after the medical evaluations and the basic commands, the top 1 to 2%, which is about in the first 3 months, those dogs are evaluated and chosen in the breeding program. So like our purebred labs and our females, or purebred male and female labs, stay intact as their puppy raisers, with the puppy raisers. A lot of our mixed breed females in California stay intact. After 3 months in advanced training, the top 1 or 2% of those dogs are chosen back into the breeding program. This is where we could take those bloodlines that we want and use that into our breeding program to have higher success rates of graduating service dogs. So. The dogs that, let's see, the ones that don't make it are called change of career. They can be offered to other organizations. We've had one that went to the Sacramento Police Department as a bomb sniffing dog. We've had others go in to do search and rescue. We have explosive dogs. I think one just got transferred up to in New York as an explosive detection dog. So we will give other agencies an opportunity if we think that dog will fit that lifestyle. We've given some to, or transferred dogs to Guide Dogs of America, Guide Dogs of the Blind. We try to do agency transfers before we release that dog back to the puppy raiser. The puppy raiser has first rights to keep that puppy. If the puppy raiser or a family member that has raised the dog with them does not want the dog, then Canine Companions will adopt that dog out. So these dogs are well taken care of. we used to have a wait list. We do not anymore. The wait list for a release dog was years, so they quit doing the release wait lists and just let it go to people that know that dog. We have 4 different categories of Canine Companions for independents. Our first one is service dogs, and that is for adults 18 or over that need working service dogs. Those dogs turn on lights, they can pick up objects, close doors, close drawers, retrieve items. You can give the dog a credit card and they can pay and take the money back. So our full service dogs do a lot of work for our recipients. Our next category, which is hearing dogs. This is what Heltie is, my hearing dog. Hearing dogs are actually, and you're gonna laugh, the high energy dogs in our organization, as mine's sitting here sleeping. So the hearing dogs are high energy dogs. They have to be able to, if they hear a sound, they have to get up and they alert us to different sounds. So whether we're sleeping at night, if there's a fire alarm, if someone's knocking on the door, if we're out in public, if they're playing, that dog pretty much has to stop what they're doing and alert us to the sound, and then when we take them to the sound. So it's a 2-part process with a hearing dog, and I will do a demonstration towards the end of this, and you can see how Heltie works. They hear a sound, and they nudge and alert us, and then we ask them what, and they take us to that sound. So they have to be higher energy, because if she's sound asleep, and so, you know, my phone rings, she will jump up and she will alert and take me to that. So those are the higher energy dogs in our organization. Facility dogs are dogs that are trained to be with a facilitator. They work in the school district, they work in courthouses, with special needs kids. There's a variety of, we have some in hospitals also. They're facility dogs. Our 4th category are skilled companions, which are for children 18 or under or adults that need to have a facilitator or an adult handle the dog and be with the dog. So the kids don't have full responsibility of feeding the dog and taking care of the dog. These skilled companions could go with autistic children, children in wheelchairs, or even adults also. So I gave a little bit about my involvement. So like I said, in January of 2011, I got our first puppy, which was Glade, which we changed her name to Jade, just for our calling. And she went on and was chosen as a breeder for Canine Companions for Independence. Our second puppy was Calliope, and she was chosen as a facility dog, and she works at Vista Unified School District with special needs children in the speech department. Our third puppy, Tansy, graduated as a successor service dog with a lady in New Mexico in a wheelchair. Our 4th puppy is Lilac, which was the daughter of Glade. And she also went on to become a breeder for the organization. So it is a big honor to have your dogs chosen as a breeder, because only 1% to 2% of the dogs are chosen. Each year we have about, I think there's about 1,250 puppies out that we have. So having your dog chosen as a breeder is big accomplishment, so it's really special. So we had Lilac also as a breeder, and our 5th puppy is Lotus. And like I said, she's just turned a year old in August. And I have 2 teenage kids, Matthew, who's here with us today. Madison's at school, but they have been a big help in raising all the dogs with us. So as a family, it's brought us closer together. We've taken turns raising the dogs. Whoever has the leash is the handler of the dog. So when Matthew's out walking the dog or has the dog and he has the leash, I'm not giving Lotus commands or vice versa. Whoever has the leash gives that dog command. So it's great as a family to do it together. And then we do have a family veterinary clinic. So my mom is a doctor. And so we had to take the dogs to work with us. So it's been really great to have the dogs and bring us all together as a family. I have, a year and a half ago, so when I was raising, I think, Tansy, I knew what all 4 categories were, but I didn't really know what a hearing dog did. And then I seen a demonstration and I thought, wow, that was pretty cool. Maybe I should get a dog. But then I'm like, I'm not completely deaf, so I don't really need a dog. I don't want to take a dog from somebody else who could use a dog more than me. But I was talked into it by James, one of the puppy program managers up in Northwest. He says, you should apply. I think it would be really good for you to have your own hearing dog. So when I was raising Tansy, my 3rd dog, I applied to get my own hearing dog. Being a puppy raiser, you don't have any extra pull of getting a dog sooner than other people, which is fine. I actually waited 2 years to get Heltie. I was invited to team training up in Santa Rosa, which last year was our only hearing dog school. Now the Florida Southeast campus does hearing dogs also. So I was invited in January of 2016 to go up to Santa Rosa for team training to get my own hearing dog. I was born with bilateral profound hearing loss, and I did not know that I could not hear. It actually wasn't until 2006 when I applied with the California Highway Patrol and made it through all the testing and everything, and they said I could not hear and that I would not be accepted into the academy. And I thought, I can hear, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. So I went to 3 different specialists, had MRIs, and they said that I could not hear out of both ears. I can hear some, but it's significant and profound that I cannot hear. I had just learned growing up to read lips and didn't know that I was missing everything. Now that I got hearing aids back in 2010, it took me 4 more years after I was told I couldn't hear to even admit that I couldn't hear. When you're young, you think, people with hearing aids are older people. So that's where I have now learned that hearing loss can affect everybody. So not to be judgmental. So in 2010, I did invest in some hearing aids, and wow, I can actually hear things that I've missed. My children would say, we didn't say that, we're not arguing. That was kind of what pushed me to go get hearing aids. So there's a picture of all the puppies that I've raised, Glade, Calliope, Tansy, Lilac, and then we have Lotus here. This is in my office. Normally the 2 girls do lay side by side. They're buddies. That was when Lotus was a little bit smaller. And so when I went up to Santa Rosa for team training, we don't get to pick our dogs. So you go up to team training and you live on campus and you work with, we had 5 different people in our class and we had 6 dogs going through. So we worked a variety of dogs that day, or that 2 weeks. The first few days we worked a variety of dogs, rotated through with the dogs. And Canine Companions, they choose the dog for you based off our application, our interviews, our lifestyle, and then the dogs, with the puppy raisers, we have to fill in monthly reports for the dogs. And so they take all that information and compile it and try to make the best match. They want these dogs kind of like a marriage. When they match you, they want that to be your partner forever. They want that dog to be at least working for 8 to 10 years. Each dog, from the time it's been bred to with us, has $50,000 invested in each one. So each dog is given away to the recipient free of charge, so which is really good. It takes people donating money, sponsors, people that put money in the Canine Companions to help do that. How can you be a part of Canine Companions? Volunteering by being a puppy raiser is a big deal. You don't have to have any dog experience. They actually come with a puppy manual that tells you what commands to teach them, during which stages of their life that you teach them the commands and where to take them to not overexpose them too much. If you know of someone that could benefit from having a service dog, we always recommend going onto caninecompanions.com, cci.org, and applying online. And working, we have a variety of jobs at Canine Companions. Participate. We have lots of fundraisers. We have a dog fest in San Diego. We have a lot of events that we put together to raise money for Canine Companions. And then just donations. Our biggest generous donators in California for our Santa Rosa campus is Charles Schultz. You guys know him with the Peanuts. And then our Oceanside campus is the Dean and Gerda and Trixie Kuntz campus. So here's a little map that shows all of our training centers in the United States. The main stars are our training centers, but we have puppy raisers all over the United States. Some of the puppy raisers are remote. When we started back in 2011 up in Tehachapi, we're in Kern County. We were the first ones in Kern County. We're remote. We couldn't drive 3 to 4 hours to Oceanside for training or practice. So I believe we have 6 of us now in our area. So even though it's just one person at a time, it starts and it grows, and then we all work together. Let's see, that's all I have for my PowerPoint. Like I said, I'm a part of the Southwest Training Center, and we do have literature and information at the table over here if you want to find out any more. I'm going to see what the phone has. I set the timer just so that Heltie could work, but then I'm going to open it up for some questions also. So let's see what we have. Okay, I'm going to just leave that go because that's got about 6.5 minutes, and then you can see Heltie work. And then actually I'll probably set this for a couple minutes, and then you can see her work to the timer also. Let's see, let's do this. We'll set that one for a few minutes. So I can't hear any sounds. I know that the timer does beep even when you set it. So Heltie, sit. So Heltie does know a little bit of sign language, so she knows sit, she knows stay. Heltie, sit. She knows down. Heltie, down. I don't use a lot of sign language. However, some of our hearing dog graduates, it's strictly sign language. They don't speak at all. So in situations like that, the dogs are taught their commands all in sign language. So one of the things that people ask is, does the dog bark to alert us? Well, we can't hear. But that's probably one of the most common questions everyone asks is, does the dog bark loud to alert you to sounds? They nudge us. So they nudge our leg, they nudge our arm with their nose. Sometimes if they don't nudge hard enough, or I'm a heavy sleeper, she wakes me up in the morning, and when she nudges me and I kind of don't feel her, she paws me. So she wants to make sure that I'm up or I hear the sounds really well. For the fire alarm, she does really well. She will alert, and then she knows that is a really important sound that she needs to alert me to, so she will alert me, and then she will actually paw at me so that I know. So all the sounds, they alert, and they take you to the sounds. However, a fire alarm, when it goes off, they alert you, and they lay down. They don't, when you ask them what, they don't take you back into the fire, to the fire alarm, and so they will lay down. We can teach, the hearing dogs come, when we go through training, they only know about 5 commands. That's all the dogs come equipped with knowing, is five sounds. And it is up to us as a partnership with them to teach them all the different sounds. So this is the alert. Hiltie, what? What? Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. So she does work for kibble. So it's, Hiltie, heel. It is fun for her. So you see how she, the first step was she alerted, to, pushed my leg, and then when I asked her what, she took me to the sound. So when my phone rings, she will take me to that sound also. But that's part of the 2-part process. We teach them whatever sounds we want. So she knows my name. So if someone says Melissa, she will alert me and take me to the sound. At my house, the kids will say, go get mom. So if I'm doing laundry or I'm in my bedroom and she's out there hanging out with them and they say, go get mom, she will come run and get me, and then I ask her what, and she takes me to whoever called me. So she knows about 20 different sounds. That's what a hearing dog's job is, pretty much just sounds. Some hearing dogs do know a few extra commands, retrieving things, and I can show you a little bit. I have taught Hiltie to get like the remote, get a basket. She does play dead when we go do events with kids. Kids like to see her play dead, so she does know a few extra commands. But the hearing dogs, pretty much their purpose and their job is just the sound work. That's what a hearing dog does. As a puppy, we don't know which category they go to. The company, when they do the professional training, they use their dog's personality and their professional skills, and they decide which category that dog will go to. So as a puppy raiser, we're just teaching them, like Lotus knows her 30 commands. And so for 18 months that we have her, it's just pretty much teaching her those 30 commands, making sure that she knows those 30 commands and that she can behave out in public and, be a well socialized dog. And then they get her and they finish her training and decide where she goes from there. Do you have any questions? Yes.
The dogs that are selected to be breeders, do they then stay in the kennel the rest of their lives, or do they stay
No.
in the family?
So our breeding dogs, they are, they kind of how like we were puppy raisers. So there's people that volunteer to be breeder caretakers. They live within 90 miles of Santa Rosa in their home, and they have that dog as a breeder. So it's kind of like your pet. So say you were a breeder caretaker, that would be now your pet dog. So you have a breeder. When she goes on the heat, you would take her to Santa Rosa campus, and they would breed her, and then you get her back after breeding, and then you whelp the puppies at your house and have them for the 8 weeks, give the puppies back, and then you still have your dog. The females are bred 4 to 5 times. They're not bred past 5 years old at all. So if a dog is coming up 5 years old and they haven't came in the their 4th or 5th heat cycle to be bred, they are not bred. So then they are spayed. So our female breeders are well taken care of. I think the lifespan of our breeders are around 13 to 14 years old. So for a breeding lab or golden retriever, that's a great age. They're well taken care of. So no, they're not kenneled at all. They're going to pretty much live in your home. Another thing that's really cool at Canine Companions is a lot of money is put into research with these dogs. They do cognition testing on the dogs. They're actually one of the first organizations that did awake MRI scans on the brains of dogs. So we had 50 dogs over the last, I think 2 or 3 years. We put 50 dogs through an MRI scan awake, and they analyzed the brain activity on how successful those dogs would become as a working service dog. So that research and that study has actually been published throughout the United States. Most research has been done with dogs that are sedated. Yes, Hiltie. Hiltie what? Hiltie what? What? Yes, good girl. Yes. Good girl, yes. Oh. So you can see, even though she was sleeping or sitting beside me, Hiltie, she can be sound asleep, and when whatever sound that she knows, then she will alert me to, and then when I ask her what, and then she will take me to that sound. So good girl. She doesn't always get kibble when she works. Most of the time she does, and so as you can see that she's lean. We like to keep our dogs thin because we want them to work for a long time. So if she's working hard at the vet clinic, I'll give you some examples. I have a doorbell up the front, so when clients come in, I have an office in the back because I'm the manager. If the girls are all busy and no one's up front and they hit the doorbell, she will alert me and I ask her what. She takes me up front to the doorbell. Since I am a registered vet tech, I do all the dentals. So I have the monitors on my dog or cat to be monitored, the blood pressure monitor. If the monitor beeps that their blood pressure is too low or too high, she will alert me to that. And then when I ask her what, she will jump up and look at the monitor so then I know. I'm always paying attention to it, but she does alert me to the blood pressure monitor. Our blood machine, when we're running blood and we get busy, it takes 12 minutes for the blood to analyze. And if the girls are helping other clients, I'm in my office and it beeps, she alerts me and takes me to the monitor and I can pull the results off. The autoclave, she alerts me to. So she works hard at work. So when she does work hard and she gets lots of food, then I just reduce her food for the evening. So if she's being lazy and she's not really working because there hasn't been a lot of sound, then she gets her normal ration of food. So it's really important that we keep them lean so that they work a long time. She's like the other half of my heart. So I want this dog to work as long as possible. Like I said, I waited 2 years for her. It was the best 2 years ever. When we were working with all the different dogs, the hearing dogs are high energy. Working at a vet clinic, I'm used to mellow dogs. The puppies I've raised have all been really mellow and quiet and obedient. And so when I get up the hearing dog class, waiting 2 years, so great anticipation to get up in team training, and I hear the dogs bouncing around on the kennels, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I end up making myself sick that first morning, thinking I waited 2 years for a dog, and there's no way that I could take one of these high energy dogs. So they were bouncing around crazy and we worked in a little area and she came up to me and put her nose in my lap and that was it. I have to definitely say that was love at first sight. So she is my sidekick and I love her to pieces. And so another question that we get is how can we give up a puppy? So how can we raise this cute little cute little puppy and then give them up at 18 months old? Know that we're saying goodbye to them. But then when you see the other side of it, like what she has done for me, I didn't raise her. Somebody in Carlsbad raised her. I mean, this dog is my lifeline. I give my life for this dog. She's everything to me. So I know that puppy that I've raised and they've graduated, that puppy, when they graduate, is that person's lifeline. That dog is giving that person independence and helping fulfill their life and changing their life in ways that are beyond, you can't think of it. So the way to look at it is it's the best gift to give somebody by raising one of those puppies. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Do you need to spend time daily or weekly reinforcing the sounds?
Sound work?
The sound work, or is daily living enough?
Well, it's continual learning, yes. So each dog is unique. Some of the dogs, yes, you have to continue to do sound work. I mean, you can continue to teach them any command that you want to do also, or sounds that you want. Hiltie is pretty good. She actually really, really enjoys working for me. I mean, this dog loves her job. And she will generalize sounds. I was up in Lake Tahoe, pushed the crosswalk button, and I was with my best friend Greg, and she alerted me, and I was like, I turned around to Greg and I'm like, what? You know, to Hilty. I thought Greg was calling me. And he's like, I didn't call you, it beeped. So I mean, we live in a rural area. We don't have crosswalks that beep. She wasn't taught that sound. I know she wasn't taught that sound, but when I hit that crosswalk button, it beeped. She alerted me. When I did ask her what, she jumped up on the button to tell me that was it. So she generalizes. Not all hearing dogs do generalize, because you wouldn't want them to really generalize everything. Because my phone rang and she alerted me, but if your phone rings or your phone rings or your phone rings, I wouldn't want her to alert me to everybody's phone ringing. So, I mean, it is repetition. So like I said, with her, she knows about 20. The main ones that she knows, my phone is a big one, the timer, the oven, the crock pot, I use crock pot a lot, the microwave. And then she does alert me to the Keurig coffee machine, which is a little bit reverse. When it stops brewing, she alerts me, so lets me know my coffee's done, which is pretty cool. But that's just Hilty. I mean, she's kind of a over-eager achiever, and she really wants to work and do that. So, but with the puppies, we do every day, all like the commands. Repetition, going through all the commands all the time. If we're out in public, so this is another thing, is I don't allow people to pet Hilty. And the reason why we tell people don't pet a service dog is because they're still dogs. You distract them. So if you make kissy sounds or trying to call the dog to you, or you come up, especially with me, I can't hear you behind me and touch her, but then my phone rings or my son or someone calls me, I mean, she should work, but ultimately she's still a dog, and so it will distract. It distracts them. And so they can miss an important sound. And for any dog, if you have a seizure alert dog or a diabetic alert dog or a working service dog that's getting something, if you're petting that dog and distracting it and the handler needs that dog to do something, you've now put that person's life possibly in jeopardy. So whenever you see a working dog, do your best to ignore them, really. I know they're cute and everyone wants to pet the dogs, but doing a drive-by walk and grabbing them or touching them, it really does put us as handlers at risk. With the puppies, we do allow people to pet them when we're in public, but we don't want you to go up and grab them. We want to make sure they're sitting and they're focused on us, and then we say, please ask, and if they're sitting and they're paying attention to us, then we allow them to be petted, because we want them socialized and used to different people, but we still don't want people to go up and grab by and pet them. One other big thing, everyone loves their pets. We know everyone loves their pets, their comfort animals. As someone that has a working service dog, and people that are taking the fake service dogs out in public that aren't a working service dog, I mean, I know what goes into these dogs, and 70% of these dogs don't make it as a working dog. There's high expectations for these dogs to behave out in public. And so when you throw a fake vest on your dog and say it's a service dog and you go out, and this has happened to us a few times, is we've had a few little dogs that are fakes come up and go to attack her. Well, then she hinders away, and these dogs will not fight back. They're not bred to do that. They're not allowed to. They're service dogs. So it jeopardizes us as handlers going out in public. People see dogs acting bad or misbehaving or barking or urinating in public on things. And then as a working service dog team, then people ask us, is your dog really a working dog? So besides being questioned a lot, it jeopardizes our dogs working, because then they do get fearful if they're attacked out in public. So that is kind of one of our big pet peeves.
We have time for one more.
So along those lines, when we're in the store and we see one of those fake dogs, what's the best way to alert the store manager, or even to approach the person to ask them politely and without, insulting or putting them in a difficult situation?
It's recommended to go find a manager, just to go up to a manager at a public place and have the manager go question them, is that a working service dog? Even if it's a full legit working service dog. So if I'm going out in public and she starts growling at you or barking at you or misbehaving, even though she is a full working hearing dog, that management can ask me to leave, because a service dog should be behaved and obedient at all times. So if you see a fake dog out misbehaving, take it to management. And that's what we're supposed to do, even as a working team, graduate team, is take it to management. They could call the cops. If someone's dog attacks my working service dog, I believe in California it's a $5,000 fine if someone's dog attacks my dog. So.
50,000.
Was it?
50,000.
It's $5,000 fine if someone attacks them, I believe. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. That was very special and very interesting. Even though I need to wrap up the Q&A, I do invite you guys to come up and meet Melissa and Heltie. And I also want to let everybody know we have a 1 o'clock Pet Fit demo in our Pet Fit room if you're interested. And a reminder that tomorrow is National Rabbit Day. We are going to have rabbit happenings all day long. So I hope to see you all there. Thank you very much, Melissa and Heltie.